Morning. How are we doing? Today is a strange day. I pretty much only wear suits at weddings, but I got invited to go for breakfast at number 10 Downing Street, which for those that aren't from the UK is the Prime Minister's house. The invite to number 10 was about come and discuss the creator and business economy for small businesses in the UK. And it was as vague as that. The rest of the day is pretty cool. We've got Henk Rogers, who's the guy in the Tetris film, coming on the podcast today. If anyone's seen the film Tetris, it's quite literally the guy who went through the crazy journey of originally selling Tetris in the US and then going to the USSR to get the rights to sell it, to being jailed, to coming back. It's absolutely incredible story. And then we've got 2 or 3 other meetings. My community meeting, I'll have a meeting with my general manager today who runs my businesses. We've got a lot of hiring to do. It's going to be a pretty busy day as always. For those that watched the last video, still drinking this, quite like it, and find it a lot easier than drinking loads of different tablets and different concoctions and so forth. Yeah, recommend. Nothing on the shirt, thank God. I would love to say that this morning I got up early, I went to the gym, did all of that, but characteristically me, I woke up late, a bit late on recording, so I had the fastest shower in the history of the world, and now we are gonna go. But there we go. This is the smartest you will ever see me. Maybe the only other outfit other than a black t-shirt you see me in. How unreliable the cab apps are these days. Oh dear, cab's looking terrible. 19 minutes for a car to get here. Right, good mate, we're driving. Right, I've not got a car coming because it's going to take another 25 minutes, so I am now going to drive to number 10 Downing Street. Alright, let's go. So normally I would have a car waiting outside to take me, but for some reason my organisation was so poor today that at the last minute I'm ending up driving from where I live to the centre of London to number 10 Downing Street. But I mean, it doesn't bother me. I actually quite like driving, and the only problem with driving in London is parking. So despite never talking about it on my channels or anything like that, I studied politics at university. It's what I wanted to do. I definitely was very interested about going into politics. I was very interested about writing about politics. And I think as I've got older, I certainly am still very interested, but I find politics a very challenging time everywhere in the world right now. Whether it's the UK, whether it's the US, I find it a very difficult thing to watch. Nowadays, I care very deeply about the intersection between politics and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is obviously my passion, and so I would love to have a very deliberate discussion about how to make the UK into one of the best places for entrepreneurs to come and build their businesses. And why would you start a business? Funding has an impact. Taxes have an impact, the government's regulation on funding has an impact. All these different things have a massive impact on whether people start businesses here. And I think people shouldn't forget, someone who is a creator or an influencer or whatever, they are just a small business. I mean, it's like a new term, and it's a new brand, it's new branding for effectively what is a small business. So that's what I'll hopefully talk about today. But you never know, they might be like, do you like being a creator? And everyone could be there dressed in really nice normal clothes, and I'll be the only old dick in a suit. I'm a big believer that people who are running for government now have to have it built in that they are going to be on social media. They're going to have to push on social media. It's going to be a part of their job whether they like it or not. Trump was elected based on the fact that he was so widely known and he had such a huge base to start from. He didn't have to go around educating people that he was Trump. For 20 years or so, The Apprentice show branded him as the primo business person. And then he was big on social media. He had a huge following. And so when you turn that to politics, you have such a huge lift because you don't have to educate people as to who you are. You don't have to tell people, this is who I am, I'm going to do this thing. You tell people, I'm going to do this thing, which is a very different thing. And so I think that a lot of politicians are kind of sleeping on the idea of building really, really strong social media presence. And I think that as time goes on, you're probably going to see it more now in the wake of Trump and other politicians. The power of being known in politics, I think, is absolutely huge. Okay, so 8:30 I'm meant to be there, and we're going to arrive at 8:15 at current velocity. Christ, it's a 10-minute walk. I've got 4 minutes to get there. I'm thinking I'd try and keep the mic on, but I think we should try and do it more covertly then. Right, well, I'm going to put my mic here, which isn't perfect. Hello. I have a breakfast.
Okay. Are you wanting to come in?
If that's all right. I went in white. They were like, take it off, and I was like, it's connected to nothing. They were like, yeah, good boy.
That's so funny. I didn't realise you actually got it and mic'd up.
I'm pretty sure.
Park around here must be.
I'm pretty sure I have some sort of ticket.
Yes, you got
of some description.
Foreign diplomacy sort of exemption. I think you're gonna be in trouble.
Hey, I'm going to number 10. Everyone's like, fuck off. No one cares. That's where I thought the car was. Ah, oh, god damn it. Bastard. We didn't have time to get it. We were literally out of the car. We were running. When we left you, we were going into. I didn't actually know, but they gate the front of the road of Downing Street. I didn't know that. I've never been before. So that for me, I was like, oh, here we go. I tried to go in mic'd up, but they were like, you can't have any electronics, and I was like, don't worry, it's wired up to nothing. And they were like, we can see it. And I was like, okay, take that off quickly. So I walked into a pretty big room. Maybe there was like 18 people in there around a big table. And I was noticeably late, as in introductions were well underway. I think we're about 5 deep into introductions. I sat down, and as I was sitting down, I spotted Ben Askins, who I'm now giving a lift back home. And had a good laugh at the fact that I saw him. Couldn't stop laughing at the fact that I'd seen him. So my introduction was coming out, so I had to introduce myself and talk about my view on the initiative. I didn't know a huge amount about the initiative before I went in, and so they said, introduce yourself, and are you up for working with government or something? The Prime Minister came in, introduced himself, was very charismatic, really cool. I think he came across really well. And then Rachel Reeves introduced herself, talked about why we were all there, which is effectively giving a articulate voice to certain I suppose communities. And so I could only presume that Ben and I were invited. We didn't know each other were going, which is why we couldn't stop laughing. We presumably were there to give our view on certain government policy or changes, and try and translate that for the ordinary person. And so when I was asked to give my opinion was, when the budget changed last time, Dan Murray and I shot a midnight episode on the budget and how the budget was affecting entrepreneurs, because we had spent all day trying to decode it and understand it and try and relate it to how small businesses worked. And so I said it would be amazing if there were big changes that impacted business and impacted thousands of employees and hundreds of thousands of people around the country, and thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs who create jobs and all the rest of it, then wouldn't it be amazing if you could give us that information a few days early so we can decode it and put it out to our audiences in a way that's going to really help people to make the necessary changes. That's what we're talking about today. Really interesting. I hope to hear more. I would personally absolutely love that. As I said at the beginning of the video, I did politics at uni. I wanted to go into politics. I am now not. But I'm still very interested, and being able to hang out with Ben, quite the kicker.
That's so funny that you were in that meeting. That's just so awkward.
Mate, when I saw your face, I couldn't stop laughing. I had to stare at the pattern on the floor, just so I wouldn't keep smiling and laughing. And Ben kept smiling at me, so he was setting me off. Also, I was meant to introduce myself as I came in. Yeah. I had one person to listen to. I didn't even know we were meant to be talking about government policy. And then I look up at you and you're there going... I'm literally just going to have a quick call with Rosie on the way to the studio to talk about the script. We have Henk Rogers on the show today, who's the guy behind Tetris, as I said. So Rosie is just going to run me down the script before we arrive and get a sense of the questions I'm going to be asking. I do have some idea, obviously. So yeah, over to Rosie.
They did it in Panama, so then he had to, like, that whole story where he had to, like, go to Panama and make sure this deal was, like, completed with the £15 million.
So we're literally just getting back to the office now, so I need to get changed quickly. They did let me in, yeah. Check out the notes for the episode and then have a cup of coffee, greet the guest, and then go on with the day. Alright, how you doing? Hi, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
You would be surprised. I was at number 10 Downing Street this morning talking with about the Prime Minister and Rachel Reeves about like business and entrepreneurship in the UK. So that was very early.
Wow.
So quite the day already.
Basically, that group imploded. They had Ron Howard in the room as he was going to direct it.
What's the time scale between those?
5 years. The difference between a script and a movie is huge.
Yeah.
You know, like, and there's so much like BS in the movie. No, I never slept with my interpreter. They actually filmed it, and it was a joke. I made a joke. I read the script, and there was so much bullshit. And I said to the writer, "What? I don't get to sleep with the interpreter?" Wow, that's a great idea. And they actually filmed it.
Right, so that is a wrap with Henk Rogers, who is the founder of the Tetris company, who has just told me the most incredible story, like the real story. The movie's incredible, the story's absolutely wild. Actually hearing this young guy goes to the Soviet Union to try and get the game rights for Tetris. So that was just 2 hours just gone, so I don't even know what time it is. Maybe it's like 1 o'clock, so probably going to try and grab some lunch. And you will see over the next 10 minutes, I will do something called pickups. Pickups are where post-interview, if you stumbled on the question or you've said it wrong, you refilm and reshoot it. And so you can make sure that the visual that the audience sees is as good as physically possible. How did you make the move from there to becoming one of the most sold games ever? And then you might shoot an introduction to the episode. So I might do like a face-to-camera shoot of introducing the episode, which might come out the day before, it might come out on the day, it might be used in the trailer. So the key is, if you're ever thinking about doing a podcast or making content, you have to have a way that you batch all of it together and then you can move on to other work. So you're not continuously thinking about it. And for me, I'm very lucky in that I have an amazing team that once I've done the filming, they do all the work through to production and posting. So that's how I can make it work with the time. Cool. Done for the day?
Done for the day.
So, I mean, this is us just looking at like the initial content just after we've made it. This is just like laughing before the show. Like, he was actually such a nice guy, but it's so cool to see it after the fact. But the content I think will come out will be incredible. Like, he literally talks about how the KGB were like in the business meetings with him. It's absolutely insane. Obviously on Day in the Life, you often see, you know, all these crazy things. Like this morning was crazy. We were at number 10. We did meet the Prime Minister this morning. We have done a podcast with the guy from Tetris. And then now I'm back at the office. And so for the rest of today, I think this is much more regular to my ordinary day in the life, which is effectively me with my headphones in, just trying to get through as much work as physically possible in as fast a time as possible. I then have a meeting later with my publisher and with my agent to talk about the book launch in the US and how that's going to work. Other than that though, I'll then go home. I will try, as I said this morning at the show, I didn't get to go to the gym this morning because I woke up too late. I then left the house too late. I then had to drive because I was too late. However, the day worked out, so we're still on track. I will catch you shortly. My lean Wagyu steak is like clearly going to arrive later. 3:15, done 3 hours of work now, I think. Just reviewed a podcast. In the last day in the life, I had a meeting where we got consultants in and we did a strategy session on exactly what we're talking about today. So how all the different flows of our email marketing actually works. So that's what Sam and I are going to work on now. So I'll see you in a bit. So it's 4 o'clock now. So for the last hour, I've been on a live call to my community. Very good call. I am starting to feel really tired though, as you can probably tell. I'll drive home now. I've got a call with the US publisher. I'll do that for half an hour. I'm going to try and push myself to go to the gym. Hopefully that wakes me up, and then we'll move on to a bit more work. On a day like today, and I've had a busy week already this week, I still just have so much work to get through, like reams of to-do lists, content to review, tasks to review from team members. I've got I checked, I have 7 emails from 7 founders that I've invested in that need genuine response. They need a thoughtful reply. And so tonight might actually be, they're not that often anymore, but tonight might be one of those nights where I go home, I finish my work, I go to the gym, I have dinner with Lou, and then I probably work from, maybe I'll watch TV for a bit, and then I'll probably work from TV until 12, and then I'll go to bed. And I'll wake up tomorrow with a clear, nothing on, nothing in the diary. And sometimes, honestly, sometimes that's just what happens. As much as I'm a big one for, my book, the subtitle for my book is is going to be something like how to work less and live more. Something like, it'll be like how to understand the levers of life, something like that. And I'm a big believer in understanding, how processes and systems and hiring and delegation can free you. But at the same time, if you're going to build anything of note and build anything great and build anything amazing, the beginning is still going to be difficult, or it will take you a long time. And so you could do what I'm doing now and do it over 3 years. And that would be much more chill. You'd have much more free time. You'd make way less money earlier, but it would be much more relaxed. Whereas I'm trying to do it in a year, which means it's very difficult. So yeah, it's been a great day. But at the same time, when I thought about doing a day in the life today, I did think, I don't want my days in the life to look like they're just insanely crazy, because the reality is that there are always crazy moments in the day, but it's not like me and my team aren't still working really hard and scrabbling really hard in the background like all founders are. And so yeah, I quite like to present both sides of that. The challenge is, am I going to go to the gym today? That's the real challenge. Because like I say, I'm not the ice bath in the morning guy. I'm not the gratitude journal guy. I'm not unbelievably disciplined in my day. I always wake up late. I'm late to most meetings, but I feel like I committed this year to 20 to 40 minutes exercise a day. And so I would literally love to do 20 minutes, even just stretching and weights, and then 20 minutes running. I would feel very proud of myself, but we'll see whether that happens or not. Right, so we're home now. It's 5:15. So now we're literally gonna log on, do a call, do some work, push myself at the gym, and then we're done for the day. As always, welcome to the incredibly boring office that has nothing in it, is yet to be designed, but where I spend hours and hours and hours of my life every single day. I'm gonna lock in for about 45 minutes, then I'm gonna try and go to the gym, be ready for when Lou comes over for dinner, and then probably lock in later again. I think probably I would have not done this had I not been doing a day in the life, which is quite nice because I said I would commit to exercising every day. So I'm so not in the mood. I'm exhausted. I really want to just lie on the sofa, but I think this is probably worthwhile doing. So as always, keep the trainers in here. That's how you keep the room really clean. Right, I'm not going to have you record me actually going to the gym because I am exhausted and it's going to be shit. So I'll catch you in a second. So it's 6 p.m. We are post work, managed to go to the gym, have had a shower, feel good, have half an hour until I'm having dinner with Lou, and then I'm going to chill for a bit now, watch a bit of television, try not to think for a bit, have dinner with Lou, watch some sort of crap reality television with Lou, no doubt. And then afterwards, I've got a few more hours of pretty intense, deep work to do because I want to wake up tomorrow morning with a pretty clear schedule so I can get on with deep and meaningful work rather than today, which has been so much admin. So I'll catch you in a few hours. So it is 10 p.m. I am shattered. I've just done a few extra hours post dinner. I feel quite caught up on my work. I think tomorrow I will have a much less busy day. I will still have to work pretty hard tomorrow. We have a normal like day tomorrow, so no like big events, just probably work and working with the team. But I just wanted to show that it's not all like crazy events, like still working all the hours, given I'm really in a season of my life right now to really go and pursue and push for the next thing, which is like the book launch, taking our education business to the next level. The podcast is new, and so like there's a lot of priorities, and we have a small team, so I don't begrudge it at all. Like, it's been an awesome day, very hard, but really pleased with it. So until next time, everyone, take it easy.